So this is a company. This is a lawyer's company. Do you know the name of this company, by the way?
Yeah, I believe it's Womble Bond Dickinson.
Womble Bond Dickinson represented the Post Office against civil class actions from former sub-poster Alan Bates in 2017. A TalkTV investigation can reveal exclusively, my friends, this morning, that the firm pocketed an enormous £37.5 million. We have to point out, Lee, before we speak to you, that a large amount will have been passed on to third parties like barristers and other people. I want to make that the lawyers didn't earn £37.5 million, but this is an astronomical figure when you consider the absolute horrors that this has done to so many people's lives, Lee.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what are you doing wrong, so badly wrong, in a retail business that you have to dig into your profit, whatever, for £37.5 million to defend those things? I mean, it's just mind-bending. It's absolutely horrendous. And to be fair, if it was a commercial company and not backed by the one shareholder being the government, it probably wouldn't have done what it did. And that in itself is a travesty, because that is ongoing.
Lee, you came face to face with this company when you were in court. Just, you know, for people who, I mean, everyone's aware of this story now, but your specific story, I mean, it wasn't just what happened to you, it was the name calling. I mean, it was utterly awful. Tell us what happened. Yeah,
I mean, obviously, I had a post office and everything went wrong over a 12-week period. I made lots and lots of phone calls, 91 in fact, to try and alert them to the difficulties that I was having. I felt that it was a computer error, computer problem, and they just ignored me, really. They then deployed their external legal team, which was at the time Bond Pierce, which is now evolved to Womble Bond Dickinson, sorry. And they took me to the High Court, where I represented myself, and I lost. And they were awarded £321,000 worth of fees, you know, of court costs.
You were smeared as a nasty chap who was out to rubbish the company by a manager at Fujitsu. When you stand in a high court, Lee, and I think this is really the point, and it has, quite rightly, with that ITV drama, captured the nation, and quite rightly, because I think it's one of the biggest, the worst miscarriages of justice in our history as a nation. You stand there and somebody says, you're guilty, when you know you're not. 330 grand. What goes through your head? End of my life? What?
Well, yeah, you visit all those different things, don't you? But it wasn't just me. There was lots of, you know, we're talking about 555 people. It's something that repeated over and over and over again. This was back in 2006 for me. Other people had been through the system prior to that, and lots more have been through the system after that. Some people had custodial sentences, and bless them, some people, 4 people, took their own lives. I must admit, it was something that crossed my own mind.
Was it?
Not proud of that, but very difficult.
Tell me about that moment.
Well, you know, all the things just falling to pieces around you. It's very difficult because you want to protect your family and protect everything that's sort of that you really care about. And in that situation, I felt as though I wasn't capable to do that.
And I think that's the point. We talked, Rosie, over the last couple of weeks about, you know, money, Lee, and compensation. But actually, the thought that everything that you are as a person is being trashed, your reputation, your belief in any sort of system, your belief in justice, your belief in the place that you live. And that did, as you say, cause 4 people to take their lives. And that's, for me, the real tragedy. And we can talk about money, we can talk about computer systems, Fujitsu, the post office man today doesn't seem to have his head anywhere but up his backside because he doesn't seem to understand that he needs to look back. And we can be pleased that this is where it's at now, but you can never get that moment. You can never get that back.
No, and absolutely not. And the thing is, this was, you know, it wasn't just me, you know, it's so many of us that have been through this horrible, horrendous turmoil, and that whole package of what they bring to you, which is funded by the taxpayer, yet again, that they can visit such horrendous travesties against you. It's just, you feel so helpless, you know, and I can understand anybody feeling so helpless that as in Martin Griffiths' case, step in front of a bus. It would be, you know, beyond belief that people can plan to just dissect every aspect of your life, and that's what happens. Because I equate it to holding this handful of dried sand, and as you stand there and the wind blows, every little particle of your life just blows away in the wind, and there's nothing you can do about it, and it's just so difficult to come to terms with.
How do you feel as kind of a couple of weeks on from now, everyone knowing what's happened? Because for you, you were shunned by neighbours. I know that your family had an awful time, your children, the shame that you were made to feel, the bullying that took place. I can't imagine how brutal, how awful, how horrendous that was. Now, people know that the way they treated you was appalling because they were also misled by a system that misled you too.
Yeah, and I'm just so thankful for the drama, because we fought so hard for so long. It's been 20 years for me, and longer for some of the other victims. And it's been so difficult for people to be able to hold their head up high and talk about the things that have gone on, because it affects so many aspects of your life.
The faceless people, the usual ones who slag you off online or behind your back. Has anybody come up to you in the street? Has anybody sent you emails and said, we were wrong, sorry?
I wouldn't want that anyway, to be fair. I've been apologised to by so many people, not just people from the town. We don't live in Bridlington anymore, but, you know, the post office have apologised, which I'm not interested, really.
And is it about the money? Is it about the money? Obviously, this story this morning, £37.5 million going the way of that firm, not for all of them, Womble Bond Dickinson. We repeat the legal thing, you know, a large amount will have been passed on to third parties. Is it about the money, or is it just where you're at now, knowing that you've been vindicated?
No, do you know what hurts more, and still hurts and will continue to hurt, is that they're quite happy, even now, to throw millions of pounds, millions of taxpayers' pounds, at the schemes that they're currently talking about being the vindication, the lifting of all this horrendousness and paying money to people that deserve to have an easier life, whilst they are sitting 6 or whatever lawyers in front of those same people trying to drive down claims, trying to make these people re-punished. You know, this is what's going on now, and this is not ended. This is like war for those people. This isn't war for me. This isn't war for the other victims. This is a traumatized group of people that just want to sit down, talk about getting through to the end of this and living their lives and moving on. But this faceless group of people, either civil servants, MPs, I don't even know who they are still multi-million pounds worth of fees being paid to lawyers in order to drive these things.
We've got to just read a couple of rights to reply, haven't we?
Yeah, the Post Office say this legal firm acted as one of the Post Office's solicitors for a long period of time that spent a wide range of work over a 10-year period. In 2019, the current management settled the long-running Horizon litigation within 4 months and have made a sincere apology. Womble Bond Dickinson also said, as Jeremy mentioned earlier, it's important to clarify that freedom of information represents a gross fee figure for all types of work over a 10-year period. This includes significant third-party costs, such as barrister fees, which are typically paid by a law firm on behalf of a client.
Lee, I want to finish with one thing, mate. You're very honest, you're very candid, and we send our best to each and every one of the victims, and I'm so glad the power of that drama on ITV. I'll make you smile there now. Bit of street cred being played by old Willie Mellor, isn't it?
What can I say, you know?
Eh? I mean,
what can I say?
Coolest man I know, played by you, eh? Feeling good. Lee, thank you so much for sharing your story on Talk Today, pal. Love to you and the family. Thanks, mate.